Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of this House, when I qualified to run for the seat that I currently hold, I never imagined that in my first year as a freshman that I would be standing before you advocating for a bill such as this one. You see, freshmen are told to be seen and not heard. Now, that's a perception, and I believe our leadership has done a good job in welcoming dialogue, asking those questions, asking for us to engage. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the speaker opening up this house, this floor today for this discussion. I appreciate Secretary Peake for asking a young freshman about his thoughts on this issue. Chairman Chenell, Chairman Watson, Chairman McCall, whose family I've known since my days in college, Representative Kaiser. I appreciate their work on this. And I'll tell you, on December 7th, my entire worldview on this came to a halt. And there are some of you in this chamber today that I emailed shortly thereafter on a thread asking your opinions about this issue. You see, I was unaware that a young boy lived in my district by the name of Caden Clark. And I'd received an email from his mother asking what my position on M&M was. I had no idea what she was talking about, but when I shortly realized what she was talking about, I was gripped with fear. I was gripped with, oh, not now. Let me get some time under my belt. I don't want to be the candidate that's advocating for this. But as I read her emails, and I spent Christmas talking with my family members, members of my church community, I found out about another young man in my district, Mr. Jonathan Giles and his son Kason. And another young man in my district whose daughter, Sydney Wages, suffered from seizures. And the drugs that were FDA approved that they were taking include blindness, skin rashes, severe skin rash and burn, liver and kidney effects. This is what they were already being prescribed. And days after I got that email, Caden Clark and his family moved out to Colorado. After trying every pharmaceutical mix prescribed for seizures, and even having a portion of his brain surgically removed to help stop the seizing. They made the decision that they would separate their family and that they would move to Colorado. Now, his father, Chris Clark, has advocated against drugs for the past 25 years in the Atlanta Police Department. And when I first met him, he said, "Mike, I've spent my career fighting against drugs and drug use, trying to keep this away from our children and off the streets." And he said, and this isn't the legalization of marijuana. This is an oil that'll save my son's life. It'll give him life. And all we're asking for is a chance. So I will conclude today by saying that today, as a father, as a freshman legislator, I take the culmination of every life event that I've had thus far, and I bring it to this body, and that's how I determine how I'm going to vote. I take the fact that I am a father, and I have 3 little girls, and how are the votes that I cast today going to affect them in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And it's been said, imagine if this were your child. How could you not imagine if this was your child? And when I get home at night, a lot of times they're in bed, and I go down and I look at them and I pray over them, and I see them sleeping. I wonder what Corey Lowe and Janaea Cox, what they're doing at that time when little Victoria or Haley is not sleeping, and they're monitoring breathing machines. They're wondering if they've got to call in an ER nurse or somebody because the heart has stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, whether we're freshmen here or whether we're 25, 35-year veterans, we were sent here by the folks in our district to make bold decisions, to be courageous. I think most importantly, to be their voice. So today I am the voice for Jonathan Giles and Kason Giles, for Chris and Kim Clark and Caden Clark, and for Lisa and Jimmy Wages and Sydney Wages. And I ask for your favorable consideration on HB 885. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for allowing me to take the well, and at this time I yield the well.